Welcome to the Sideline Podcast. I'm Kevin Showalter. That is Jared Booker right there. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Been watching football all day and watching Ohio State, Indiana. Not to kick it off, but I mean, apparently that is not defensive pass interference. Just elite pass defense. I don't quite understand that rule. Anyone who's watching probably knows what I'm talking about. But
yeah, I'm putting the game on now. We are watching Ohio State versus Indiana, reacting live here on YouTube, X. Go ahead and give us a subscribe button, drop a comment, let us know which team you're rooting for tonight. We know Mr. Diesel, he's not with us this evening, but we know he's going hard for those Indiana Hoosiers tonight. I think this would be their first Big Ten championship, right? I mean, basketball school, they've never even been there before, I don't think. But
I don't believe they have.
Anyway, just a couple beatdowns early in the day. Hopefully we get a better game here this evening, with the ACC title game and the Big Ten. I hope we get some good ones here. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we got
sent a little. Yeah, we got tons of comments, man.
There we go. We got some people flooding in.
Loving it. Someone's got to go eat dinner, though. You got to make sure you're getting nourished.
I need to go eat
getting nourished. No, this gentleman right here
on the chat.
He's got to go eat dinner.
Come on back soon. Come on
eat
back
your
soon.
Greens. Eat your greens.
Yeah. Let us know where you guys are watching from. We'd love to hear that. We had our first Brazil TSP Walk On last week. So, yeah, let's grow an international brand here. That'd be awesome. We've both traveled quite a bit internationally, so that'd be sweet to grow this podcast internationally. So we're all about it. So anybody watching from overseas, let us know what state you're at and what team you're going for. That was too many calls to action probably, but nonetheless.
But do them all.
But do them all. All righty. Welcome to the Sideline Podcast. This is episode 62. We already hit the intros, but if you love football, talking sports, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Give us a follow on X. We are live every Saturday. Used to be at 5. As of last week and going forward, it is at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We release the show on Mondays as well. So tonight we have TSP Walk On. I won't shame some of the folks that committed and then didn't show up, but we have one solid TSP Walk On tonight. Few others that did not make the cut of the time because we got to get it chopped up, edited, ready for the show. But we've got one. We're bringing that. We are reacting to college football with our top storylines. We're obviously going to talk college football playoff. Huge day tomorrow. I commented just about an hour ago of you just got to embrace the chaos and that there's going to be 4 fan bases absolutely pissed that their team is not in and begging for it to be 16 teams and all that stuff. So I've just embraced it at this point. It is chaos. It is anarchy. I think as Saban said on College Game Day earlier today, you just got to embrace it. So I'm all about it. We go ahead.
Before we get to this walk on, which, we're not about to shame anyone who didn't come through on that. It's all good. I do want to give an update. Currently it's 7-3 Ohio State in the Big Ten Conference Championship. And we're going to get in one of my storylines for this evening is a question specifically about this game and the outcome. So I'm looking forward to that. Stick around and join the conversation if you have an opinion. So
there we go. We have Alo back for his A team. I will say we had some winners last week. I don't know if he's ever going to let me do the A team again. We have the worst Alo's A team performance in the history of this segment. That's only a few months old, but nonetheless, we had a real stinker this past week. We also had some really good ones. And then we'll wrap up the show talking NFL predictions for this weekend. And like Booker mentioned, we'll be sprinkling in our Ohio State versus Indiana references throughout the night. So, all right, without further ado, we've got our one and only TSP Walk On for this week. Again, if your teams are playing in the future, send us, we're reaching out to people, obviously, but send us your predictions in an audio form. We'll dub some video highlights over it, and we'd love for you guys to be a part of the show. So without further ado, here we go.
Also known as M. Tillbilly on X. I think this Big Ten battle comes down to the trenches. Can IU pressure and get to Julian Sayin, and vice versa? Can IU protect Fernando Mendoza? There are approximately 15 all Big Ten players on the field. It's going to be a battle. I think I'm going to choose IU with my heart. 27-24. Go Hoosiers.
Well,
picking with his heart.
There's some things right there. I can appreciate that. Two things about that. Thank you for sending that in, MTL Billy. First play of the game, Fernando Mendoza gets absolutely leveled. Everyone's heart in their throat. He comes back in, but they need to be able to protect him better. And then Indiana's looking good against Sayin. I know that Ohio State scored, but they've been able to put some pressure on him. So that's a nice take. Things are kind of coming together there.
And did they just miss a field goal? Did I see that, or they put up the first 3 points? I'm just tuning into the game now, so I'm a little behind the 8 ball here. But did they miss that field goal, or
they put up a field goal? They scored first, and then they just missed another. They just missed a second field goal, so it's still 7-3 Ohio State.
Okay, perfect. All righty. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our storylines for this week. Why don't you kick us off? What do you got for us burning on the mind college football storylines this week?
All right. So this one, I'm going to make my first one specifically about this Big Ten Conference Championship game. And so if you're listening and have an opinion, I'd be very interested in hearing what you think, because I have my own opinion, and best believe, because I have a microphone and a camera, I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
So Ohio State and Indiana are both locks to the college football playoff. My question is if you're a lock in there, is it more advantageous to get a win in the conference championship or a loss? Because I personally, I would be afraid of an Ohio State team that loses this game moving forward into the playoff. Now, they're probably going to win it all, but I feel like they're a more dangerous team if they lose this game than if they win it. What say you?
Well, and we'll probably get into it, but no matter who loses, will they drop outside of that top 4? So maybe let's hold on that side of this discussion. But I think there's an argument to be said. It's hard to say, hey, we don't want the bye. Like in the NFL, you really want the bye week. You want to rest your bodies. I think there's some good historical data where the teams that get the bye, they can come out a little flat. That being said, I think that was debunked last year because all 4 teams, I think, that had the bye came out and brought out the belts, like Georgia and Texas Tech today. So I think with both of these teams, they're probably going to be all right whether they get the bye or not. But yeah, if you're Tulane and Ohio State drops to 5, like that's going to be a brutal that's going to be a brutal game. I don't know if Ohio State would drop all the way to 5, but yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, they will not, no matter who wins. I know we're going to get to that, but I think that this conference championship game is more. I mean, both these teams want the natty, and so yeah. I know that a Big Ten conference championship trophy looks good, but a natty looks better. I would say if Indiana loses here, maybe it lights a little bit of a fire on them, but Ohio State certainly. There's just another level there. If they get punched in the mouth here, they are going to be absolutely terrifying in the playoffs, more so than they already are. So
yeah, and one of my storylines, on the note of we mentioned Tulane there, but most likely Tulane is going to the playoffs. They won the American Championship, correct?
That's correct.
And they were the highest ranked G5 team. They won their conference championship. So I think they can book their spot along with Texas Tech and Georgia. My question is, can they actually win a game? Because their coach, remind me of their coach's name. He took the Florida job, correct?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tulane's coach. Is he coaching? That would be an interesting thing. If anybody knows that in the chat, is Tulane's coach coaching, or is he pulling a Lane Kiffin and moving on to Florida right away? So I'd be curious on that. Either way, can Tulane win a playoff game is my question for you and the people listening out there. Do we think they can surprise a team, or are they probably going to get boat raced?
If they play, so it looks like the way we're going to show a graphic with the bracket moving forward, and obviously things will get more nailed down tomorrow, but they will more than likely play Oregon is kind of what we projected. I think they could pull it out against Oregon. I think Tulane with Retzlaff at the helm, they're a scary team. I mean, North Texas is not a slouch, and they were able to boat race, to put it into your words, North Texas last night. And so it would not surprise me at all if Tulane, if they end up playing Oregon, that they could beat Oregon. Now, any of these other teams, I'm not sure Tulane would be able to take care of business. But what about you?
Yeah, no, I I think that they're probably going to be a one and done. So Summerall is their coach, and I have not seen if he's coaching or not. He's come to terms.
This coaching carousel stuff right at the playoff is so
it's tough, man. Anyway, I bet if Retzlaff has eligibility, which I think he does, I bet what he could be looking at are we, and this is a little bit of a rabbit trail, but a DJ Lagway Retzlaff quarterback controversy, or does Lagway just need a fresh start? Or maybe Summerall can get him, get the potential out of him that everybody thinks so. So back to our Ohio State, Indiana. One quick thing here. We got Ohio State driving on the 9-yard line, trying to punch it in. So we'll see if they can put it in here. So,
man, they are such a tough team. So next thing I want to talk about here, this is a little shout out to Fargo, North Dakota. We have the North Dakota State Bison. I've got some notes here. So one of the biggest FCS upsets of the year happened today. They are the number 1 seed. They were on a 16-game win streak. And there's not a question in here. I just wanted to shout them out. And also Illinois State, what a win. NDSU was the 23.5-point favorite. Wow. And Illinois State was unseeded. So Illinois State puts up 15 points in the fourth quarter. NDSU absolutely collapses, and it's their earliest exit from the playoff, I believe, in 16 years is what I was reading. So I more so just wanted to bring that up. The Bison are not in the FCS playoff anymore, and they're a perennial power in the FCS.
They're one of the best juggernaut dynasties in all of college football. I mean, they absolutely dominate in Division II. So, or FCS, not
FCS
Division, or FCS, not Division II. So, yeah, interesting for sure. How about this one? This is, and again, why are we talking about Penn State when Indiana and Ohio State? Well, we're not, but we got ourselves a ball coach this week. That is my storyline. Matt Campbell going to Penn State. It was the one Josh Pate was talking. He was the coach that we needed to get. I've been really impressed with the things that he's done at Iowa State. He's a good ball coach, and I'm really excited for this hire. It's not the flashy pick, but he's a meat and potatoes, gonna bring in some good recruits, and I think he will get the most out of the players they do have. This week there was a lot of drama, a lot of news about, hey, Penn State has, I can't remember if it was, I think it was Montana State. They had a worse recruiting day than Montana State or something like that. It was a bad day for Penn State. But I think Matt Campbell is going to be able to get the best out of that team. Whoever's there, he's going to bring in some transfers. I'm sure he'll have some guys coming from Iowa State this year. So, yeah, Matt Campbell to Penn State. What are your expectations? You think, can we get a natty in the next 5 years, next 10 years? It's just probably not going to happen. I need to lower my expectation levels here.
I don't know if a natty's on the table. Certainly, I believe they're a playoff team, even as close as next year. I love Matt Campbell. He's probably one of my favorite coaches in college football. I was surprised to see that he was leaving Iowa State. He loves Iowa State. His narrative to those boys out in Ames, Iowa is basically people don't come out to Ames, Iowa because it's a flashy place to play. It's a place where you come to learn the fundamentals and learn how to smack people in the mouth. And so I love the way he coaches. He's all about the fundamentals. So I think that is a beautiful match. Second on that, I love James Franklin going to Virginia Tech, man. How about a world where Virginia Tech is, he's a recruiting monster. Virginia Tech might be in the playoff next year. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of this college football playoff, is that you just have to be one of those 12 and you've got a chance. Now, some people are arguing, and rightfully so, whether it's 12, 16, 24, there's 4 teams probably that can win a natty this year. Maybe, 5 to 8 have an outside chance if things break absolutely right. But at the end of the day, you get in the dance in the game of football, anything can happen. And so, I think if he can take them to, be a top 3 or 4 Big Ten team, he should have no problem recruiting in the future. So I'm excited. I think, again, we don't want to spend too much time on Penn State on this awesome day for Indiana, Ohio State, but nonetheless, that was big news this week and one of my top storylines.
Oh yeah, man. Love the hire. It's absolute home run. How about we talk about the ACC conference championship here for a moment? So Duke is up on Virginia in the second quarter, 14-7. If Duke wins,
No.
the ACC could be left out of the playoff completely.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's more than likely the case. And Miami is sitting there with, and this is just my opinion, Miami is the best team in the ACC. They've underperformed with the amount of talent they have on that team, but they're going to be sitting on their hands, and Duke might just knock everyone in the ACC right out of it. And then you've got SMU, Georgia Tech. Like, there's a lot of talent in the ACC, but Duke's just going to ruin it for everybody.
The outrage if they put a 5-loss team in, that's going to be a problem. I don't think they'll do that. If they put in Miami over the conference champion, I think if Duke wins, I think they leave the ACC out. I think that is the better move to say, hey, the conference champion wasn't good enough, and so we couldn't put a team that didn't win their conference. I don't know. That one is going to be interesting, and I can't wait to get into our college football playoff preview. To be a fly on the wall in that room tonight and tomorrow when they are having these conversations. One of the best things I heard this week is I understand why they released the rankings, the buildup, but I think just taking that away would make this significantly better. So that way, the final rankings, you release them. These are the 12 playoff teams. It's not the BCS system where we need to see, hey, whose points are going up and down, because my storyline is Vandy should be a playoff team. And we're going to get into it here when we break down kind of these wins, losses, top losses, but they should be in the dance over a Miami, in my opinion. I think BYU is cooked. Again, they've said they're not going to punish a team in the championship game, but I saw it on X right before the show. When you lose by 21 to was that even you that posted that?
No.
When you lose by 21 to a playoff team right before the playoffs, should you be in the playoffs? Now, Georgia is one of those contenders, but I don't know. There's a lot of precedents that is maybe going to get set this year before they mix it all up and change it next year. But I think my storyline is Vandy should be in the playoff, especially over Texas. I know we talked about this last week. There is no way that a 10-2 Vandy team with their only 2 losses were on the road. I get the head-to-head argument, but 10-2 is better than 9-3. And when Texas lost to Florida, I don't want to hear any head-to-head arguments. Vandy lost both of their games on the road. Texas has lost. It's not even close to me. It's not even close to me. It's not even close.
You're wrong. Texas played Ohio State. If Texas doesn't play Ohio State in week 1, we're not even having this conversation. Texas beats Vandy and is to me the objectively better team. Yes, Vandy's a great story. Yay, Diego Pavia. Yay, Clark Lee. That's great. But Texas beat Vandy. Don't put Vandy in.
They beat Kentucky by 3 points. They beat UTEP by 17. What are we even talking about here? If this, don't give me that they're talented enough. I think that you can't be putting a 9-3 SEC team in over a 10-2 SEC team. I just don't think. I think Vandy's wins on the road mean more to me than Texas. Their big wins were all at home. Like Vandy going on the road, beating your Tennessee boys, I think they beat South Carolina on the road when South Carolina was the 11th team in the country. That's impressive to me. I don't know. Losing to Florida is not impressive to me. So I don't know. I get they're probably going to put Texas in. Money talks. But that's a storyline for me that Vandy should be they should be in the playoff. And they still might. We're going to get into it of which teams. I think there's 5 teams competing for 3 spots in my estimation. And that's we'll dive into that in a second here. You have any other storyline?
If we're going to dive into it, then I'll keep my mouth shut on that until then. Last thing, no, actually, we touched on Tulane already, so we touched all the things that I'm interested in. Just a quick score update: Ohio State is up 10-3, and it looks like Indiana is driving with 8 minutes. 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. So Indiana has a chance to tie it up here before half if they could keep moving the ball. Mendoza looks good. So,
all right. So we're going to get after it here. We are officially we're moving along from our storylines. Let's get into some NFL. Here we go. NCAA college football playoffs. We've got the bracket right here. So this was last week's bracket. Obviously, There's been some things changing. Alabama lost. BYU is right on the fringe. They lost. So most of these teams are safe-ish, but let me just see here. So first round buys, we got that. I'm just moving my notes around. So I've got on my list, my locks are Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Indiana. That's 4. Tulane, Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. So 8 teams are like they're locks. Virginia, if they win, is a lock. I don't think Duke is either way, and it's looking like maybe they're going to lose. So we've got 3 spots between OU, Bama, Miami, Notre Dame, Texas, and Vandy. Let's put on the boxing gloves. State your case. Your 3 teams. Who should be in 3 spots if Virginia wins? If Virginia loses, then we're talking 4 spots, 6 teams. Who should be on the outside?
So Bama, so Oklahoma, I think you have to put Oklahoma in. They've looked good all year. They've fought through injuries. That defense is elite. I think you got to throw Oklahoma in there. BYU, I do believe is cooked as well. I mean, they finished the season 11-1 or 11-2 if you count today's loss, but I believe they're cooked because they lost in a big way to Texas Tech both times. And so again, you go back to, you're playing a team that is going to be in the playoff and you get smoked twice. Like, we've seen what we need to see. BYU, you had an incredible season. The odds were stacked against you. You had a freshman quarterback. You looked great, but we've seen what we need to see there. I believe I would put OU, Miami, and Texas in. And I'm leaving Vandy out. The head-to-head matters too much to me. I believe Texas is the more talented team. Fight me.
Okay, I can agree. I think OU is a lock, mainly because they were 8 on the last ranking, and I don't think there's enough chaos happening. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, so they were number 8 on the last ranking, and I don't think there's enough chaos behind them to really vault teams up ahead of them, especially because the ACC is so weak. After that, now let's talk about Notre Dame. I am curious. I think Notre Dame is going to get in, but I don't know, man. It's like, I feel like what is helping Notre Dame is their losses to Miami and Texas A&M. It's like, you lost to the only good teams you played, so we should give you a playoff spot. Like, yeah, and that's at the beginning of the year, and I think that's the recency bias of, like, that's what's going to work against Vandy, is like, you lost Texas within the last month. But it's like, what are we talking about? Notre Dame has played nobody since the first 2 weeks of the season. Why are they getting a playoff spot? I mean, USC, they won by 10 at home. Navy, I guess they blew them out. Pitt, 37-15. Like, yeah, you beat Syracuse 70-7. Like, who cares? This is the ACC we're talking about here. So I don't know. I in my mind, I think Notre Dame, like, give me an SEC team over a Notre Dame this year. They have not been that impressive. This isn't last year's Notre Dame. Like, okay, now I know Jeremiah Love is a dude, and they have the national brand. But yeah, I just, when I look at their schedule, I'm like, man, why is Notre Dame going to be in?
They should not be in. They've lost to the 2 best teams. They've lost to the only 2 teams that are going to be in the playoff. Chew on this for a second. Texas. No, okay, we'll start with Vandy. Vandy has a better record, but the 2 teams that they've lost to are Alabama and Texas. All their other wins are against teams that are not going to be in the playoff. Look at Texas's record. They beat Oklahoma. They beat Vandy, who you say should be in there, and they beat Texas A&M. 2 of those 3 are locks into the playoff, and they beat them already. Texas is the better team.
But you lost to Florida. This is literally Alabama last year. This is Alabama last year. Handle your business. Don't lose to DJ Lagway and whoever was coaching at the time. Don't lose that game.
It's one game. It's one game.
But these games matter. I think it's hard because it's everybody. And so, yeah, you're putting a lot of stock in that head-to-head. I'm saying Texas has looked like a really good team, and they've looked like they don't belong in the SEC at times this year. And so to say they're a lock, I'm like, I think you're living on last year's Texas team, not this year. Like, I don't know, man. They will get in because, again, the committee, this ranking last week, like, they're not gonna. What are they gonna do? Come out and say, you know what, guys, we messed up last week. Like, we put Texas ahead of Andy last week, but you know what? I think we were wrong. We're gonna flip flop that. It's like they're not gonna do that. And so the fact that they came out with these rankings, it's pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered. So let me pull those back up there. But I mean, we're talking. Now, Alabama is the interesting one because you could make an argument like Alabama is a team that could drop. BYU could drop. I guess we're talking the Bama. Did you have Bama in your?
No,
you didn't.
No,
okay,
I've got Bama out because
what were your three again?
I got Miami, Texas, and oh my goodness, now I'm
and Notre Dame. Or no, you went OU. You went OU.
Oh yeah, and Oklahoma. I don't. Yeah, with Vandy or no. Oh my goodness, now I'm all squared. Can you put that graphic back up for me, please?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh no,
absolutely.
we're talking Alabama. We're talking Alabama.
Yeah,
Alabama. It's an SEC team. They play a hard schedule. Like, I believe the SEC is the toughest. They don't have, they're not the top 1 and 2 teams in the nation. We're watching those two right now in the Big Ten Conference Championship. But as far as across the board, the SEC is the toughest conference in college football. Alabama doesn't belong in the college football playoff for one reason and one reason alone. Ty Simpson has dropped off. They're not the same team. Like, I would put Texas in over Alabama strictly based on most recent play. Like, Alabama just can't put it together. And so I don't think that they could do well in the playoffs. So I would put Texas in over Alabama any day.
Yeah, then I think you should jump. I see the Miami at 10. Sorry, Miami at 10, 12 is what trips me out because I'm like, what has Miami done to deserve that recently? Like, they're putting a lot of weight in that number 6 win early in the season against Notre Dame. That's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, they ended number 22 Pitt's season, but what else has Miami done? I guess they beat South Florida there when they were ranked, but those 4 interceptions from Carson Beck, I'm like, I'm not putting that guy in. And sorry, Alo, I know Alo's joining us here shortly, but it's like, I'm not putting that in the playoff. Like, they are a talented team. I think if you just put, if this is played based on rosters, I do think Miami has one of the best rosters in the country. But are we talking rosters? Are we talking resume? And that's what makes this so infuriating. And I'm just thankful that, my team has long been eliminated. Let's talk about this, though. So Oregon, they're not going to drop from, they're not going to kick out Oregon from the 5 spot. But what has Oregon done this year? Like, I feel like the committee is putting a lot of weight in that Penn State win, which was a big win at the time. But in hindsight, looking at Penn State, it's like, how do you value that win? Yeah, it was on the road, Happy Valley. But still, like, the way that the wheels fell off the bus, like, you're going to weigh that as, they beat a top 10 team. Yeah, I guess on paper they did. I don't know. I heard something interesting recently where it was like they need to do away with the preseason rankings because, like, a Penn State and a Texas, like, coming out at 1 and 2, that's definitely helping Texas right now. Like, oh, they were a top 2 team to start the year. Like, of course they're a playoff team. They have the talent to be there. But it's like, no, you lost to Florida. You're a 3-loss SEC team. I think Vandy should get in over them. They won't because of the head-to-head. And I can be wrong on that, but I'm not. But I think Miami should drop in that. But anyway,
are you taking Miami or Notre Dame? If you had to choose one to go to the playoff, you can choose resume, you can choose based on roster, whatever you want. Who do you want to see in the playoff?
Who do I want to see? That's a brutal question. Can I kick both of them out?
If you want, just as long as Alo stays in the backstage there.
I mean, to me, with Alabama losing, he's about to come off the top rope into this chat, but with Alabama losing and Notre Dame being at 10, I have a hard time seeing the committee dropping Notre Dame that many spots when they didn't play. Again, Texas didn't play. Like, a lot of teams behind them didn't play. So even if they drop Alabama out, which do they do that? They've said in the past that they're not going to punish teams for being like, are they grading Alabama's resume in the regular season, or are they going to grade them now that they got blown out in a conference championship game? I don't know, but I just think it's interesting, man. And I think, yeah.
You didn't answer the question, young man.
What was the question again?
Miami or Notre Dame? Pick one.
I mean, I think Notre Dame is the spot because they've ranked them higher. And I don't think Carson Beck and his 4 interception throwing self should be in the playoff. And again, what has Miami done recently? They're weighing, you got the hit, but then you're back to the head-to-head argument of, okay, but Miami beat Notre Dame. I still think that Notre Dame has put up a better season. Man, but they lost.
I'm taking Miami, man. I'm taking Miami in this one.
Notre Dame lost by 1 point to Texas A&M. That's an impressive loss. They beat USC. It's tough. I'm taking Notre Dame just because they're ranked higher, and I don't think this committee is a lot of things. I don't think they're going to come out and admit they're wrong. They're way too prideful for that. So they're gonna stick to their guns, and Texas is going to go in over Vandy, and Notre Dame is going to go in over Miami. Certainly doesn't hurt that both of those schools are cash cows. That's definitely a part of this. And, Miami and Vandy aren't little guys, but pretty much in this conversation. So I don't know. If Virginia wins, then that's going to make this even more interesting, because then they will get that spot. Give us some updates here. What's happening in that Ohio State versus Indiana game? What's happening in the ACC championship?
Ohio State is driving. Indiana finished their last drive with a field goal. It's now 10-6. But Ohio State's driving, and there's still some time left here before the second half. The other part of this too is Ohio State deferred to begin the game, so they'll receive the second half kickoff for the ACC conference title. There's a minute and 55 seconds left in the first half, and Duke is still up 14-7, and they currently have the ball. And so Mensa he's 14 for 16 for 107 yards and a touchdown. So he's been completing some passes. So it looks like Virginia's in for a bit more of a dogfight than people thought.
Yeah. Interesting for sure. Let's go ahead and get Alo in here on this one. A little college football. I know he's kind of our fantasy football super genius.
He's ready.
He's got the Miami jersey on. The wrong Miami, but nonetheless, you've got a dog in this fight. We're just arguing heads. Why should Miami get in over Notre Dame? And like we talked about here, let me just pull up these notes. We're going to have about 3 spots, maybe 2. If there's 2 spots, so if Virginia wins, there's 3 spots. If Virginia loses, there's 4 spots between Ohio, Oklahoma, Bama, Miami, Notre Dame, Texas, Vandy. We're assuming BYU drops. Yeah. Who are you putting in the college football playoff?
That committee right now is really pulling for Duke. They want to make this a little more simple.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm putting Texas in. I'll tell you why.
Hook 'em!
So I'll tell you why. Arch Manning, people give him like a lot of like crap because he's a Manning, but he has 30 total touchdowns this year and only 7 picks. Now, I will say this. If you think about his losses, like Texas's losses, they lost to Ohio State 14-7. Think about this. Every team, maybe Indiana today, but every team so far that's played Ohio State has got smacked. That's Arch Manning's first big game, 14-7. So then you go on, okay, they lost to Florida. Alabama lost to Florida State. What are we talking about?
No, I think Alabama can drop.
Then you go, okay, well, we're talking about Vandy and Oklahoma. Texas beat both of them. So it's like, I don't know. I have to put Texas in, and they're playing the best right now. I can't fault them for going, okay, we're going to play the hardest game of the season, week 1. We want the best of the best. That's what you're supposed to do. So I got Texas. And I will say I will put Miami in, not just because, I'm a Miami fan, but because they beat Notre Dame. And they haven't showed me anything. That was the big thing. Between them two, when they played each other, I was like, okay, whoever wins this game, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were saying whoever wins this game is going to the playoffs. And they had their chance. They could have, If Notre Dame would have won, we would all be like, they're in. But they lost to them. So at the end of the day, with 4 interception, Carson Beck in there, they lost to them. So I'm taking Miami and Texas for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because even my arguments for Vandy, Bama beat them 30-14. So that's a tough look. I know they played Texas close. If there was more time in that game, they probably make the comeback, but it's hard, man. I think 10-2 Vanderbilt is an awesome story. Put them in there. I think they're one. I think they should. I commented on X earlier today. I can't remember which college football account it was, but talking about Tulane, or I don't remember what it is. I'm like, Tulane's going to get
Texas
boat raced by somebody, and had too many uses of boat races tonight. But nonetheless, Tulane is going to get smacked in the playoff. And so I want to see the best teams have a chance. And putting Tulane in the playoff to me is like it's a participation trophy where it's like, yeah, you had a nice season, but you have no business competing for a national championship. I think most fans want to see the 12 best teams. And that's what makes this unfortunate is you're going to see, if you leave out Texas, it's hard to say they're not one of the top 12 teams in the country. So
yeah, I agree.
Well, they expanded the playoff to do this. And so, that's just what it is. But I mean, I agree. Tulane's probably going to get smacked around, but like it's a 12-team playoff. I think that it's okay. And Vandy, like they are flipping commits. They this week they got a 5-star commit to flip from Georgia to Vandy. So Clark Lee is not going anywhere. Vanderbilt is not going anywhere. We could be talking about, in a different field next year. Vandy's definitely in. I just don't think this is the year based on what they've done.
Speaking of
10-2 in the SEC, it's not they've not done enough. They've not done enough. Not 10-2 in the Big 12 or the ACC. The SEC.
It's partially because of this right here. That's partially why.
10-2 smacked Tennessee in Neyland Stadium, and
it's pronounced Neyland, sir.
Neyland. They didn't do enough. 10-2 in the SEC is not enough. That is a wild precedence to say, you know what? Yeah, sorry guys, you didn't do it.
It's who they lost to.
It's funny because you speaking of who's out and stuff. It's funny that this man he be getting away with it. Lane Kiffin is probably the funniest coach I've ever met. Yeah. This man tells him he's leaving and then tries to coach him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives in absolutely his own world. Lane Kiffin.
He's wild.
He's wild, man.
He said, I'll coach you guys. Come on, man. Nobody
get out of here.
Coach them through the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss. I read a story about Ole Miss. Like anything he left back in his office or whatever, they just tossed into the street. They're like, good riddance, man. Like
probably burned it.
I hope Ole Miss. I don't know, man. Does it speak if they go far in the playoff? Is that because does Lane get credit? We know he's going to take credit, but does he get credit?
Yeah, I think it's Chambliss and that team. Yeah. But he might get credit. I wouldn't give him credit. Like, you got the team there, but coaching in the playoffs is a whole other level of getting you guys prepared, showing up after a couple weeks off. Like, if they go on a run, TSP will give him 0 credit. But like you said, he will take the credit, but we certainly won't be giving it to him. And
I am officially pulling for whoever LSU is playing against for his entire tenure, which if history has anything to say about it, will be 1 or 2 years, and then he'll be gone to the next thing.
Absolutely.
Couple months.
Maybe.
All right, let's move along here.
Feed them to the Tigers. Feed them to the Tigers.
All right, Alo. I don't think you're ever going to let me do the I butchered DK's name, and he got negative points. I think the first time in the history of the A-team we have a negative pointer, but Tyrod 21.2, RJ Harvey 21.2, Brenton Strange 13.5. So it was a good week. The DK though, that was a tough look, but he's been solid this year.
Yeah.
But why don't you take it away with your A-team for this week? Once I can get you back on screen. There we go.
I got at number 5 this week. He's a must get in your league, whether it's dynasty, whether it's redraft. Get Darren Waller. He's back and healthy again. He was at retirement. He came back, and what I love about Darren Waller is with McDaniels. McDaniel utilizes the tight end so well, and Tua is so accurate to his tight ends. So that's very important for him and the Dolphins. And they have a little win streak going, and they do play the Jets. I could see Waller balling out also because the Jets, they rank 14 against tight ends. And where Waller is big too, where he could get a lot of his fantasy points is in the red zone. He's a great target for Tua in the red zone. So yeah, Waller at number 5. Number 4, Chris Rodriguez. I think he's the lead back now at Washington. As their rookie, Ja'Cory, he did not take the advantage and he didn't take the opportunity to take off. He kind of had this good game and then went down. So Chris Rodriguez has been more productive. So also what they have going for him is Terry looked good last week. Jane Daniels is back. He's super mobile. They're going to be paying attention to him. That's going to give Chris Rodriguez a lot of opportunities, especially at the goal line. And I could see him being the lead back for the rest of the season and potentially in the future for Washington. So Booker, what do you think about those two?
What I will say, I'm just gonna put this up there because I agree. We got the rapper Darren Waller catching TDs out there. Get him on the roster. So I like it. What I will say, let's see here. Yeah, Darren Waller, he's obviously the tight end 1 on the Dolphins offense. He's played 47% of snaps. I think he's just a good scheme fit. So I do like that pick. And as far as Chris Rodriguez, I'm a little disappointed that our man Bill is no longer leading the backfield there. But if he's, Jaden Daniels is back, but he's going to need someone to lean on. And Chris Rodriguez has been out of Kentucky. He's been a pretty solid. I mean, I don't know that he's ever really started, but he's going to need some support. And so I think that's a good pickup as well.
Yeah. All right. So at number 3, this receiver reminds me of a little bit of Drake London. He's just always been hurt, but when he's healthy, he's very productive. With the Packers wide receivers being injured, Romeo's questionable. Reed, if he plays, is coming off the IR, and unfortunately, we all know Kraft is gone for the season with the torn ACL. But Christian Watson is a great pickup. I mean, he's wide receiver 1 off the bat. He's the number 1 target for Love, in my opinion. And he's big down the field for him and in the red zone. He's a big target for Love. And he actually, out of his last 3 games, 2 of them, he scored 20 points or higher in fantasy. So definitely look out for him. All right. So at number 2, Davon Bailey. I think I don't know why the Broncos kind of got rid of him, to be honest, because the Broncos need wide receivers, and I thought he was very productive. Another thing that's going for him is Olave's kind of banged up a little bit, and they don't have a lot of wide receivers on the Saints either. He's wide receiver 2, in my opinion. And Tyler Shaw looks decent. I mean, he's getting the ball to them. So also the Buccaneers defense is banged up, and they rank 21st against wide receivers. So another thing too is the attention will be on Olave. So look for Bailey to get his for sure. I can see him definitely having a great game. All right. So can't believe I'm saying this. I know we've been through this for a little bit and we've been talking fantasy football and football in general, but man, get Tua this week at number 1 for me right this week because the Dolphins are the hottest team right now. Because of their schedule, they've gotten to play a couple not so great teams. I did talk about Waller and him having a great connection. The Jets are in full tank mode. They traded away Williams. They traded away Sauce. The Jets Pats defense is horrific. I can see Tua, just eating that defense away. So yeah, give me Tua, especially if you have a lot of quarterbacks on bye. I know I got a couple of quarterbacks on bye this week in a lot of my leagues, but I'm putting Tua in there. I just feel like he's going to have a big game. Kev, what do you think about those 3?
Sorry about that. I was muted. A little bit of home cooking there with that Miami Dolphins stuff, but you at least wore the jersey, so then we know.
Yeah.
I just want to say how far, and I'm not dodging the question, but man, how far we've come from I'm tanking for that number 1 pick, baby. They
do that every year, though. I'm not going to lie.
and I looked this up for you too. Let's just keep playing to the crowd here. But Miami Dolphins 5-7, just looks like they're about 3 games out of that 8 or that 7 spot. So, man, we how far the Dolphins have come to the hottest team in the league. The Christian Watson thing is interesting. He's a touchdown machine when he's healthy.
Yeah.
And he's healthy. Josh Jacobs is back and off the injury reports. That was interesting. I did look it up as well. And Watson had 19 points against the Bears in the one game. I think he had 0 in the other game. So that's kind of the Christian Watson experience. But I think when he's healthy, he is one of those guys that just gets touchdowns, like kind of like a Martavius Bryant, except for obviously he went off the rails. But just when he's out there, he's going to produce. I always have trouble trusting Packers wide receivers just because you never know who's gonna play. But if he's the healthiest of the group, then I like the pick. And again, we've gotten you on in the past, but picking 2 for the Dolphins is a bold strategy. But we'll see how it works out. So, any other thoughts on that before we move along?
I just hate hearing that the Dolphins are the hottest team in the NFL, but I digress.
All right. Before we do our predictions here, Book, how's that Ohio State versus Indiana game? What are we looking? We at halftime already?
We are at halftime, so this will probably be until the end of the pod. We'll do one more check-in. It's at half, 10-6. One thing I want to highlight, though, so Ohio State's going to get the ball to start the second half. One thing I want to highlight, though, Julian Sayin's been sacked 3 times. So has Mendoza. But that Indiana defense is stout. So I think that Ohio State's probably in the locker room saying, wow, we were not expecting this. But go Hoosiers, man. Go Hoosiers.
Yeah. And Tyler's not here tonight. What did he say? He's in the Charlotte airport or something like that?
He just landed in Charlotte. So
he's probably in full Indiana Hoosiers gear, just squawking through that Charlotte airport. I can just picture it now with his. I don't know if he's with his kids or not, but nonetheless, Tyler's probably pretty hyped right now.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and jump in to our NFL picks for this week. So we're going to just do 5 games, mainly because there's a lot of duds on the slate this week. So let's just go with the 5 games that are pretty good games. So let's go ahead and start with the Colts and the Jaguars. Indy favored by 1.5, a little bit of a slide. They're not quite the juggernaut, but is this a must win for the Colts? And who we like in here? Booker, let's start with you. Indiana 1.5. Who you taking in this one?
Tyler, I am a huge fan of you, and I look forward to the day that I can shake your hand in person. However, I am taking the Jags here. They're on a 3-game win streak. The Colts offense has fallen off. Indiana Jones is looking like Daniel Jones again. Indy's they're missing some key corners. Jags are going to be able to load the box and slow down Jonathan Taylor. And here's a little fun fact: the Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014. And so, give me the Jaguars here.
Alo, who you got?
So, I'm going to take. I trust Daniel Jones with a broken fibula more than I trust T-Law. As bad as it sounds, I really do. I don't know, man. I just feel like they played the Texans and they played the Chiefs. That's 2 tough games. I mean, the Texans have a great defense and the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They have Patrick Mahomes. But I'm taking the Colts. Also, I hate to say this, Tyler, I'm sorry, but I actually don't think either of these teams will win the division. I think the Texans are the best team in that division. I really do. I think they could be the most dangerous team going into the playoffs if they make it. But yeah, give me the Colts. I'll take the Colts.
That stat about winning in that's a tough stat you got there. But I think I'm going to take the Texans as well.
With the Texans
or the Jags.
I'm thinking about the Texans.
Sorry, I'm just realizing I've got the wrong.
He wants the Texans in this game.
I just can't get these graphics figured out some weeks, but I'm tripping out here. This graphic on the left side. So those of you watching in portrait mode, my apologies. Those are not the 5 games. Let me even just try to. There we go. Let's just
look at our faces. It's only a slight upgrade.
We'll just go with that. So my apologies. That was last week. The Jaguars, the Colts in Duval is what I was looking to say. I think it's going to be a close one. And yeah, I just think Jacksonville is going to cover or win or keep it close if Indy does win. So give me the Jags in this one. All right, let's go to our other morning game. We've got the Steelers versus the Ravens. The AFC North is quite the division this year. The Ravens were on a real hot streak, looking awesome. Then last week they looked terrible.
Yeah.
They still have the DNA of a good, you may not look like a good team, but you are. Baltimore favored by 6 points at home. Which of these teams gets back to their winning ways, or is this going to be just a classic 9-6 snooze fest in the AFC North? Alo, who do you got in this one?
So I actually think it's going to be a snooze fest. I really do. I think Lamar is playing not that great this season. He did miss like 8 games or something like that. He missed quite a few games, but the Steelers offense looks horrible. I just think 6 is too much. I think when these two teams play, no matter how good they are, they always seem to battle out and play a tough game. So I got the Ravens winning, but by like 3 at the end. I think it's like 14, like 17-14. I don't think it's a high scoring game. I think the Ravens do win though. But I'll take the Steelers with the points though.
Okay.
Yeah.
This game to me is going to define the Steelers' season. It was bizarre watching Aaron Rodgers just absolutely throw his players, which again is not completely bizarre for Aaron Rodgers, but that's just brutal on a Pittsburgh team of like, hey, even if you're right, you got to not just toss your guy under the bus. And maybe he knows, trying to get the best out of Jonnu and that's the way that he wants to roll. But nonetheless, the media is going to take that and run with it. So this is a make or break game for the Steelers. I just think, I don't know, the Mike Tomlin rumors, does Aaron Rodgers still have it? I think Baltimore gets it right in this one. And because of the Aaron Rodgers throwing his guys under the bus, I just think the Ravens come out and remind us that they are a really good team. I don't feel great about it because of the AFC North snooze fest, but give me the Ravens to cover. I think there's a lot going on in Pittsburgh. I could be wrong. Maybe they come out and they show the world that, hey, we are a good team. We're going to keep marching towards the playoffs, but at 6-6, it's not looking good. So Booker, who do you got in this one?
I've got some news for you fellas. The Steelers offense is broken. 7 points last week. Then we want to go to the other side of the ball. They allowed over 200 rushing yards, and now they face Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. And so Baltimore is going to be at home. They're in better form currently. I'm picking the Ravens here to cover.
I was going to try and pull up in the tweet, but we need to figure out how to pull open tweets quickly onto StreamYard would be sweet. But I think it was OTL, OTL football. I can't remember what their name. I think they're Steelers fans over there, and they made some comment about your leading receiver at Darnell Washington, who's 315 pounds, is probably not the way to win in the NFL in 2025, but. Yeah, that I agree with you. That offense is needing some help for sure. So,
yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's move along. Jeez, the Bears. I don't even want to talk about the Bears, but the Bears and the Packers. The Bears, number 1 team in the NFC, smacked my Eagles, flying high. Chicago fans are feeling it right now. Green Bay 6.5 at home. What does Vegas know? Are they trying to bait us on this one? Let's go ahead and I'll start with this one just because I'm salty and I think the Bears are but that's a huge number. 6.5 is a big old number for another division rivalry game. I think I have to take the Bears, but I think the Packers win. I just do. I think Chicago keeps it close. They're going to run the ball. I don't see Green Bay blowing them out at home, but that's an interesting spread from Vegas. And the old windy of somebody knows something, so, Booker, what do you got in this one?
I'm taking the Bears as well. The Green Bay's run defense has been weakened with their defensive tackle Wyatt out. Chicago leads the NFL in turnover differential at a +17. So Caleb Williams is not going to need to do much. Run the ball. Defense travels. And another little fun fact: the Packers are 1-6 against the spread when they're favored by 6+. And so I'm taking the Bears here, even if the Packers win, like outright win.
Yeah. Alo, who you got?
Yeah, I'm also taking the Bears. I think Caleb and Ben Johnson are the real deal. I also think Jordan Love actually might need to take some notes from Caleb. because sometimes he really has the game won, and he plays so reckless. He plays like he's down by 10 sometimes, and he's not. He throws picks at the worst times. So I will say, I personally think the Bears are the best team in that division. I really do. And let's think about this. The Packers have lost to the Panthers, which are a little better than we thought, but they also lost to the Browns. Like the Bears are beating teams that they're supposed to beat, and they're getting healthy. They got Jalen Johnson back. I think he's a dog. And he's a great cornerback. And I think the Bears are gonna win, honestly.
All right.
You heard it here first.
Have you posted any? I haven't seen. Did you put any of these Diesel comments up on here? He is getting after it here in the cold. Let's just throw a couple of these out. He's got the JT Legacy game coming. Colts by 7.
I did take the Colts. Let him know.
This one's good too. Not that bizarre. Rodgers is trying to blame everyone but himself the last 6 years. We love that. And then this one is awesome too. Of Washington needs more targets. So hey, that's an offense in 2025. Feed the big man. Which you've seen a lot of. Like the Bucks I think they had a big man touchdown. I think the Lions were did they do a screen pass to Skipper? It wasn't even like at the goal line. It was like at the 50-yard line. They're like, you know what? Let's throw it out to Skipper and let him rumble. So maybe these gurus, the analytics are saying feed the big boys, So all right, let's keep it moving here. All right, Texans, Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. This will be an interesting one. This is two teams that we thought were contenders. Both of these teams have been top 4 in the AFC playoffs the last couple years. In Arrowhead, Vegas is still rolling with Kansas City, up by 3.5. This Texans defense I think they are the best in the NFL on points allowed. And so let's go ahead, Booker, with this one. Who you taking, Texans or Chiefs?
Man, the fact that this is a conversation makes me so happy. I'm taking the Texans, man.
Yeah.
We got the Texans ranked number 1 in total scoring defense. The Chiefs are missing 3 starting offensive linemen. So against Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter, the KC offense has been inconsistent. Stroud is healthy. I think Mahomes does keep it close, but the Texans cover even if KC wins. I believe this has a field goal game written all over it.
Yeah. Alo, who you got?
Yeah, I agree with you, Booker. I actually have the Chiefs winning by a field goal, so I'm taking the Texans with the points. Their defense is different, and like Booker said, he made a great point. A lot of their offensive linemen are hurt. I'm honestly wouldn't be surprised if I think that the Texans have a better chance of like beating them by a lot more than the Chiefs do. I think the way the Chiefs win is by winning by a field goal, but I'd be careful because the Texans are for real. I'm not gonna lie, that defense is nasty, and CJ's back. Yeah.
Man, I think we're agreeing too much tonight. We got to get back to Vandy versus Texas talk. So Booker and I are coming through the camera, but yeah, I feel the same. The Chiefs are just. I don't think they blow the Texans out. I think it's a close game, field goal late. Give me the Texans to continue to. They're just shutting people down with their defense. It looks like we're all riding with the Texans, and Diesel he's taking the Chiefs in the points.
That's
so
crazy. Is he saying that because he needs the Texans to lose?
That's true. That feels like a little Colts homerism. Oh,
this is the funnier part of this. Read the very bottom. If Davis Mills was starting, I'd take the Texans. That's the money line right there.
Yeah,
wow.
I love that.
That's crazy.
Love it. All right, last one of the week. We've got Eagles, Chargers. Is this a must-win game for the Eagles? I don't know. The Cowboys lost, which was a beautiful thing on Thursday Night Football, just when their fans are getting their hopes up. Philly favored by 2.5. SoFi Stadium. Go ahead, Alo. Take us away on this one. Who are you taking?
Yeah, Justin Herbert is banged up. His finger, I know he's pretty sure he got surgery. I'm pretty sure he's gonna play, but I'm still very concerned with the Chargers offensive line. I think that Jalen Carter is going to get to him. That pass rush on the Eagles is still nasty. I think the Eagles get back on track, get a win. And I also think that they understand that they need to feed the ball to Barkley, give him the ball. And also, I feel like Jalen Hurts will run more. I think the problem with the Eagles is like, oh, Jalen Hurts, you need to throw the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. But that's not how they were winning their games. I think they're going to go back to the recipe of like, okay, let Jalen run, let Barkley run, and pass it when you need to. So, yeah, give me the Eagles. I think they got this against the Chargers for sure.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Jalen Carter's actually out in this one.
Oh,
but nonetheless, I am all about our pass rush getting home.
I still think so because the Chargers' offensive line is
and we are releasing the vanilla gorilla this week. Ty Johnson from Nebraska. He is an absolute beast. Just a specimen of an athlete. He hasn't even been able to see the field because of how good of our D line has been. So yeah, I think we get a gorilla sighting this week, and I hope that Herbert is feeling the Philadelphia Eagles defense. It's a must win. It's not a must win, but Philly's, I mean, they're all hot and bothered at 8-4 with a division lead. If they lose 3 straight, it's gonna be rough. I mean, people are egging KP's house, calling for people to get fired. I'm like, Philly fans, just chill out. Like,
those are your people, bro.
Those are my people. I am one of them. I've got the Eagles
crazy
thing up there, but like, just chill out, man. We are. This is not 2023. So I really hope the Eagles win. I don't actually think it's a must win. I think this team is fine, but it's a really good idea to come out and prove the haters wrong. Hey, Saquon's had some amazing games in SoFi Stadium. So give me the Eagles. They got to get this one. They got to show up on a primetime game this year eventually. So why not this one? I think Jalen Hurts he plays his best in these kind of moments where everybody's chips against him. So Booker, who are you taking in this one?
I'm taking the Eagles as well. We maybe are agreeing too much, but it's a good buy low spot for this Eagles team after 2 bad losses. The Chargers secondary is vulnerable. Philly thrives in tight lines. So Sirianni is actually 13-2 against the spread when it's between -3 and +3. So I think the Eagles rebound and win by a field goal. Last time they were in LA, you remember that? Remember that game against the Rams? That was quite a finish. So give me the Eagles here, man. I agree. It's not a must win for the Eagles, but it's a must win for the cars and the houses of those Eagles players, because Philly is not going to handle that very well if they lose. So
that's right. Red lights, stop signs.
Yep.
All of the above.
Philly's going to get burned to the ground. 8-4 Philly, burn it down. Just burn it.
They're 8-4. They just won the Super Bowl last year, and they're acting like they went 0-16.
Yeah. So nonetheless, I love it. Those are my people. They're crazy, but it just, I mean, my son, when he's crying in the first quarter of games, like it makes me happy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm raising a monster. But you love to see it. You love to see it. So, all right, let's wrap it up here. Where's that Ohio State Indiana game going? Diesel, if you're still listening, what's our confidence meter? Any Indiana fans out there listening, how confident are we feeling we get the dub here in the second half? I think we're probably all on Team Indiana here, right? Nobody's Alo, you going for Ohio State in this one?
No, I'm gonna go. I want Indiana. I like Fernando Mendoza, but unlike a lot of people too, I like Julian Sayin and I like Jeremiah Smith. So for me, it's like I don't mind either team, to be honest.
Yeah. The game is still at halftime, so we don't have any new updates. But yeah, team Hoosiers here. Although, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, if Ohio State drops this game, you might as well lock them in for the national title. Which you may be able to do anyway. But if they lose here, they're going to go on an absolute tear. So
I actually believe that those two teams will play in the national championship.
That would be a sweet rematch.
I just think they're both the best teams, to be honest.
Yeah.
So here's from our man Diesel before we close out. He feels good about in the second half. Defense has Sayin second guessing. Need to keep it that way. It's going to come down to field goals. I believe it's going to stay close. I don't think Ohio State's going to run away with this one in the second half. Indiana's been too stout, so it's going to be the closest game of the day. Thank God.
Yeah. This is interesting. Indiana's rushed it 20 times, 79 yards, 4 yards in a cloud of dust. Ball control. You love to see it from Cignetti. That's a way to play in a big game. Keep it close. Let's not get into a track meet here with Ohio State. But yeah, I think it's going to open up a little bit here in the second half. Both teams can throw the ball, and so I think we see a little more points. Hopefully, this comes down to the wire, like you said, Booker. We've had too many blowouts today, so we need this one to end. But anyway, with all good things, they do come to an end, like this episode. thank you guys for spending time with us this evening. All the folks in the comments on YouTube and X, we appreciate you guys. Alo, thanks for jumping in here.
Of course.
Duff, Tyler, we miss you guys. We'll have to see you next week to talk some more football. Again, follow Alo Leagues, TSP Booker, TSP Kevin, all platforms. And until next week, we'll see you guys later. Yep. Not having it. I was not even